my channel. It's your brother, Prince Ayoku, streaming live from Tamale, Northern Ghana. I'm first of all sending my warmest greetings to um, the King of Tamale, who is also a very good friend of mine, Iyab Tamal Dechama. I send my warmest greetings to you. I send my warmest greetings to our imams, our traditional leaders, our chiefs, our brothers, our sisters in Tamale and in Northern Ghana, my brothers and sisters in the entire country of Ghana, in the entire continent of Africa, my brothers and sisters in the diaspora, as well as you, my family on YouTube. You understand? My live stream for tonight is gonna be very easy and simple. The whole topic about tonight is, where did I got the plans about Queen's Guest House project? Because there's a lot of things that is going on that each and every one of us, including me, cannot wait to see the end results. Lazy, good evening. Yes, none of us can not wait to see cannot wait to see the end of the project. But the whole thing is that, as a matter of fact, this particular guest house that we're building right now, it's not a plan that any architect drawed for me. Anything that is going on there is not something that anyone has made for me. No architect has drawn this plan for me, and no engineer has showed me what to do. And so far, I can boldly tell that with all the knowledge that I have acquired from 1996 up to date with regards to artisanship, I've been able to expand it. Though I'm a professional welder and a professional blacksmith, but I've been able to expand my knowledge to building. And expanding my knowledge to building, there is a lot of things that I consider when I'm into building. First of all, when I'm planning about something, I think about what my master told me, Alhaji Suleiman Amampila in Tamale. I think about what he told me. He always tell me that, look, the time a person has a good plans ahead of tomorrow is when they are going to sleep. That's what he told me all the time. Not only me, all the apprentices that was in his workshop, that was what he was telling them. He said, when you know you are getting ready to go to sleep, take your plans at that time. Before the next day, when you wake up, you'll be able to refresh your mind and think about what you thought before you went to bed. And he also told me and my fellow apprentices that I am teaching you to become good future leaders with regards to artisanship, hand trade that I'm talking about. He said, first of all, when you come to your work site in the morning, pray to the Almighty God, pray to your ancestors to give you good luck, to protect you, to heal you, and to save you from all kind of dangers that will come into your life with regards to your occupation. And I asked him, sometimes I like to ask questions. I asked him, Master, positive vibes, greetings. I asked him, Master, I don't understand what you're talking about. Though I understand what he was talking about, but I was very curious to know what he was talking about. And he told me that in everything that we do in life, we have to remain positive with what we stay in life and what we do in life. And then he told me that I told you to pray because you have ancestors. You have the Almighty Creator that we all believe that we were created by someone, and for the fact that we were created by someone, we also have ancestors that defends us. So this is kind of two different uh, healings and protection. So I asked him again, why should we go to sleep? I mean, why is it that when we are going to take our plans, we start to, you know, plan before we go to sleep? And he told me that that is the last activity that you do in the day. That is the last activity that you do in the day. So when you are going into sleep and you have something in mind, even when you are dreaming, for the fact that you know that tomorrow this is what I have to do, it will be on your head for you to go to sleep. And it can easily tell you what you want to do and who you want to be with regards to your plans. So he said, even when you are dreaming, most of your dreams will be about your plans, especially when you are focused. And I said, thank you. He's now a chief. He's called Lamasha Yepal Sina, Lamashagu Yepal Sina in Tamale, a suburb of Tamale. Lamashagu is a community. It's a community that is a suburb of Tamale. And you know, his title is very higher. So I applauded him there, and I gave him my salute, and I said, Master, I will listen to whatever you told me. So somewhere along the line, when we were children, that was 1996, when we were children and learning at the work, sometimes he would whip us when we do like unnecessary mistakes that makes him upset. He would whip us, and not just whip us, but at the same time correct us. He will have to whip you before he corrects you, you understand? Or if it is not up to a stage of whipping you, he will just correct you straightforward. But it is now that I understand what he was telling me. He taught us about measurements. He taught us about, good work. He taught us about, how to finish a job without any problem. And he also taught us that it isn't everything that he will teach us. There are some of the things that we have to learn from what we are, what he's teaching us. That is when we are focused. That's what he told me, or that's what he told us as apprentices. He said, whatever I teach you, it is your knowledge and your wisdom and your understanding that will be able to make you understand what I'm teaching you, so that tomorrow when you are able to be more knowledgeable than me, then I would appreciate that and be happy about it. And he told me that, look, he always tell us that, look, no one is ever bringing up a kid or a child to be low. He said whoever is bringing up a child in life, he always pray for the child to be more higher than him in the future. And he told me that you people that we are training today are who we are expecting to be higher tomorrow. So and therefore take that in mind and focus on what you are learning from us. Lonnie Red Wine, David, greetings. Doreen One Khaled, greetings. Positive Vibes, greetings. Liz Z, greetings. I think that's those who are following now. So there's also those who are following that I don't know, because they don't comment, and it's not the fact. I'm sharing the message. Thank you all for following. So I can remember one time when I was supposed to lift an object, like a hop, that was so much strength, stronger than my strength. I forced myself and lifted it, and it fell on my toe, and it hurt me. And he told me that the training that I'm taking you through is to make you stronger to be able to withstand any kind of condition tomorrow. So don't blame me when I'm teaching you this way. It is now that I see what my master was telling me. It is now that I see what my master was telling me. Right now in my life, when it comes to something that I have to do for myself, which is physical, I can do it. Mental, I can do it. Spiritually, I can do it. And then more over everything, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that he's still alive and strong. And among all his apprentices, he has confessed to so many people that I'm the only one that he can boldly say I have listened to him. Though others has also listened to him, but with whatever he has seen me to do with my knowledge, he has told me that I'm the only one that he has seen, to understand what he was teaching us. Because listen, when we were going into that training at his workshop, every year he has to buy 10 sheep, 10 male sheep for the Muslim Eid festival. 10 male sheep. So all these 10 male sheep, I was very young, but Irene Davo, greetings from Tamale, Ghana. During one college, you said I'm the best. I'm just trying, but I think there are people who are still more, higher than me. My master is still there. He's the highest. He's my motivator. He's my inspirator. Like, he is the source of my inspiration, my motivation, and everything that I have with regards to artisanship. You understand? I give him a very big salute for that, and I respect him 100% with what I have gained from him. You understand? So those days, he always buy 10 sheep, sometimes 11. So now let me tell you how he was doing it. He has 2 wives. So out of the 10 sheep, his first wife will have 2 sheep for the sacrifice. His second wife will have 2 sheep for the sacrifice. That is 4. His master, who taught him the job, will have 1 sheep. That is 5. His mother would have 1 sheep. That is 6. His father would have 1 sheep. That is 7. He himself would have 3 sheep. That is 10. And the last sheep that is left, they will slaughter the sheep ahead of the festival. And that is supposed to be used to prepare the meal that all people who are coming to his house to eat in the midst of the festival. So all these sheep that he shares to his master, his father, his mother, his 2 wives, and himself will be distributed to people who don't have anything in the society, people who cannot offer to make these sacrifices. He would sacrifice, after the sacrificial of these animals, he will share the meat to all this kind of, the less privileged in the society. He will share all this meat to them. So right after that, he himself would kill an additional 2 cows. That is 2 cows. All these 2 cows together with all the 3 sheep that he has, he would distribute all the meat to people who don't have anything to use for the festival. And it is all part of the learning. From there, I ask myself, why is he rich and don't use his riches by himself, but always share his riches to people, his knowledge to people, his wisdom to people? And up to date, I still ask myself, but I have completely understand why he was doing it. He was teaching us that he once told me that, look, when your father and your mother bring you to me to teach you a hand trade, I'm not only going to teach you the hand trade, which is the welding and the blacksmith job. I will teach you something in addition, where at the end of the at the end of your stay with me in the apprenticeship, when you graduate, you would not just graduate as a welder and a blacksmith. You will graduate with wisdom. You will graduate with your profession. You will graduate with life. That's what he told me. And now that I understand whatever he was saying, whatever he was telling me, none of it has failed. None of what he was telling me has failed. DC, he said, how are you, Ayoko, and the African family? I just come home from work and glad I caught your vlog. My sister, or I don't know if it is my brother. I'm doing good. Everyone is good here. The family is fine. Everybody is doing well. We just living a happy life, and I pray to each and everyone to also have a happy life, and welcome to the class. So that is where I started to learn. Joyce Belvins, greetings to you. Oh, the beautiful puppy is at his house right now. He decided to live with me last night, and that is why I brought him in here. So he's now at his home in this same compound. You asked me that what would I like to see else anywhere in Africa. All what I would like to see anywhere in Africa is peace, freedom, and progress. Loving each other. So it's peace, freedom, and progress that I would like to see in all parts of Africa. You understand? Regardless of our situations, this is what I want to see in Africa. When I'm progressing, I'll be very happy if my sister is also progressing, or my brother is also progressing. You understand? And what I don't want to see is hatred. I don't want to see hatred. I don't want to see unnecessary dramas. I don't want to see unnecessary misunderstanding. I don't want to see us hating each other because of our differences in religions and so on. You understand? All I want to see is peace and peace and peace and harmony. You understand? So those days, Irene Davo, you said, what places would I like to visit? I would like to visit any kind of places around the world, but when I visit the US, it will just be a short-term visit and not so much time visit, because I have enjoyed so much peace here, 100% peace here, and I look like the only countries that I can enjoy this peace is in Africa. I can visit Egypt. I can visit Egypt without any problem. You see, I can visit Egypt. Egypt is fine. I can visit there. So when my master buy all these sheep at the time, that was the past. So when he bought all these sheep, he would take me as the one to lead my juniors to take care of this sheep. So when we come to the workshop, instead of learning the welding job and the blacksmith job, we would rather have to GP. We said Akwaba Ayoko, all in the chat. Sure. Boko Minuyawa, Boko or Minuyabema, Boko. In Ashanti, Akwaba means you welcome. So the response is Boko. And Boko in Ashanti means thank you. When someone said Akwaba, it means you welcome. So the response is Boko. So when we come to the shop, instead of learning the welding job and the blacksmith job, as long as he has bought the sheep, that is so much to take care of. We have to take them to the bush to feed them. No, it's Boko. It's Bokoo. Boko. 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 That is in Ashanti, Boko. Oracles of the Bantu people. We said Ago, Prince Ayoko. I said Amen, Minuya. Amen, Minuya. Minuya means either my brother or my sister. You understand? Amen, Minuya, or Amen, Minuya. So I was asking myself, we have been brought to you to teach us welding and blacksmith job, but why would you buy your animals and you try to, you know, make us go and take care of them instead of teaching us what they brought us to you to teach us? And as we young people here, we don't disagree with what the elders teach us. So I was very patient because he's an old man. My master is over 70 years. He's on his 80s. So I understand what he was doing, and I was very patient enough to work with him and to learn from him. So whenever we take care of these animals for 2 to 3 weeks, and the festival comes and he sacrifices them, then we come back to the workshop to learn. When we come back to the workshop to learn, he will not tell us anything. He will not pay us anything. He will not even mind, though he will share the meat with us. We were having a very good portion of the meat because we took care of them. My master never, cheat anyone with regards to what they do in life for him. You understand? He was focused on that. So when I graduated in 2008, he gave me my certificate. I was a master. At the time I became a master. But where do I get the finances to establish myself as a master, to own my own metal workshop, to have my welding machine, to have my blacksmith tools? That is my spanners, my hammers, my chisels, and so much on and so forth. So I decided to go to Accra to work for the Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Ghana. When I went there, I worked there for about a year. From there, I moved to the Abundance of Metal Works located at Accra, Medina, which was a welding company that was building these trailers for articulators and articulator trailers. So I worked with him, and the man was cheating me. So one day I just said, hey, enough is enough. I'm not gonna go through your cheating anymore. I'm going home back to Tamale. He begged and begged and begged me, and I said no. I would only understand you if you increase my salary. When you pay me for what I'm doing, I'll be working I'll be working in peace with you. But when you take me for granted to make life for yourself, I'm not doing it today and I'm not doing it tomorrow. I said it is not a problem for me to leave. The only thing that I want you to do, and what got me upset the most, is that in December 2018, in December 2018, I told this man, it was an election year, I told this man that I want to go back home and visit my family. At the time, I wasn't married. So I told him that I'm going back to visit my family. That's my mom and my siblings and my extended family. So instead of, giving me 1 month salary, I want you to give me a salary for 2 months. And he agreed and gave me the 2 months. So on my next month that I returned in January, this man didn't pay me. And I asked him why, and he said, yeah, you took a loan from me, so I have took all the money that I've deducted for the first month. And I said, no, but that is not what it works. If I work for you all the time and you benefit more from what I work for you, when I took a loan from you, at least if we did not do any paperwork or anything, just take at least 2 weeks of the money. Skin deep, greetings. You understand? I told him, just take 2 weeks out of my salary and give me the other additional 2 weeks to cater for myself. And he said that I can't teach him or tell him what he's doing with his business. And I said, no problem. I waited until January. He deducted the money, and then I waited to wait for March. So January, February, March. So he deducted that money that I borrowed from him. So he deducted it from January and February, because December was already a month that I was supposed to be paid. So I told him to give me an additional 2 months payment in advance. So he agreed and gave me this money. So when I worked for him in March and he paid me, by then I've already paid all the debts that I took from him, the money that I took from him. So I told this man, I am telling you this because I'm telling you where I come by these plans, Queen's Guest House. I've been telling you so much about me, but you never heard some interesting story about me like this. So when I took this money from him at the close of the day, that was the end of March, when he paid me in the daytime, and when we finished working in the evening, I went and told him that, sir, I'm so happy that I've been able to work with you all this far, but right from today, I can't work with you anymore. He was like, what? That you are a hard worker. You contribute to this company. You are one of the hard workers. And I said, Velen Gosi, greetings. That's my Haitian sister from Haiti. Greetings and thank you so much for the chat today. So I told him, look, boss, I said, it's not a problem. I don't want to work with you anymore. It's just simple. I can't work with you anymore. If you think that you can't make both of us progress, then that is your own cup of tea. You understand? I can't do this anymore. I'm someone who is thinking ahead of becoming someone in the future. So I can't remain here and use all my time on you for your own selfish gains. Do you know what my responsibility is? Do you really know what my responsibility is? Pay me. Pay me. Um, um, Lonely Red Wine David, you said you love the wall on my background. Yeah, it's tiles. It's tiles that I use. Once you use tiles on your house, you don't have to do any renovations again. There is so much costly and it has to take you some time to do it. So at the end of the day, this man agreed to what I said. I took my 1 month salary and I came home. I remained home. I was able to get in touch with so many companies that is kind of, petroleum companies, construction companies. So whilst I was at home, when they have a problem with their tipper trucks, with their articulator trucks, with their excavators, with their caterpillars, with their rollers and everything, which consists of blacksmith job or welding, I'll just be at home and they'll call me, hey, the Kurgu, where are you? I said, I'll tell them I'm at home. And they said, come and do this for me. So when I come, I'll work for them, they will pay me. We have to bargain before I work, they will pay me. So I was doing these part-time jobs while staying at home and mobilizing money. And whilst I was in Accra, I had this friend who was a trailer driver who also works for the Coca-Cola Company of Ghana. So one day he came to Tamale and discharged his Coca-Cola to the distributor in Tamale, the Coca-Cola distributor in Tamale. And when he was moving back to Accra, they didn't have any empty bottles to give him, because in Ghana, our Coca-Cola bottling company of Ghana deals with two ways of storing their Coke. That is either in a bottle or in a plastic. So the plastic is disposable plastics, just like this plastic. You understand? This just like this water bottle that is disposable. So he always brings the bottle ones, which is kind of returnable. When you buy it, you have to return it. So he came here and distributed the Coke to the company that is the main distributor of Coca-Cola in Tamale, which is a branch that the Coca-Cola Company of Ghana has in the north. But when he was going back, they didn't have any empty bottles to give him. So he called me and said, hey, my brother Yoko, what are you? And I said, I'm at home. So he came and parked his trailer, that is his truck, at my my mom's place, and then came and told me that I can't go to Accra empty. I have to go to the Tamale market and get some grains that is, kind of packed in bags, that is sacks, and take to Accra. So I have to do away with this empty pallets. You know what I'm talking about, pallets. Pallets is something that is being made of wood. You understand? Pallets is something that is being made of wood, whereby they use this Coca-Cola to, they use it to put on top of the trailer before they load the Coca-Cola. So I told him, hey, I want it. And he said, well, if you want it, take it. At the time, a pallet of a pallet at the time, when you go to the timber market and you want a pallet at the time, it was around 80 to 90 cedis. So he gave me 12 pieces of these pallets, and I said, okay, thank you. I dismantled all these pallets. At the time, I strengthened, I straightened all these, nails that I took out from the palace to dismantle it, and use that same nails to, to join the palace together and to create my own animal farm, whilst knowing I wasn't having money to start the farms. So right after I finished the flock of the animals, I was there one day and one contractor called me. He's called Chukatel Ghana Limited. It was his company that came and drilled the boreholes at ES project. So the man called me and told me that, look, this is what is happening to my tipper trucks. I have a tipper truck that is working for me. That is the only strong truck that I have. DAF 25, that's how we call it, DAF 25, DAF 25. So he told me that the axle has a problem. It's a double axle. It has a problem. But the problem is that I have to change the axles, but I can't afford to buy the axle for now. And I have, some few months to finish my job, else I will not get paid by the government. So I told him that, why are you facing these problems whilst there's other options? And he told me that I went to Accra and then they sold to me some axles, that is an Iveco axles. Iveco and DAF is different, you understand? So he said, when I brought the Iveco axles to Tamale, they told me it cannot be fixed. And I know who you are. He said, including your master, he told me it can't be fixed. And you see, in technical terms, we have something that we call alteration. Alteration is whereby when you know this is impossible and you try to make it possible. Paul Orion, you said good evening. You do a lot of live chats. Yeah, I don't do a lot of live chats, but I only do a live chat when I have something to share. Thank you. So I told him, look, it will be possible. This man took me to the truck. We went under the truck. I surveyed the truck and told him that, look, when this is going to be done, this is what we are going to do. This is what we are going to do. This is what we are going to do to fix it. He said, okay, I believe in what he said, what you said, because he was an engineer, but an engineer from a book. You understand? He was an engineer, but an engineer from a book. His practical level was very low. So he attended the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology at Kumasi. Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology at Kumasi. So when I explained that to him, I think maybe he has ever heard something like that in a book, which I don't have any knowledge about. And he told me that, look, your explanation alone has already done the job. Take it to wherever you want to take it and work it for me. Just work it out for me. Tell me whatever it will cost and I'll let you do it. So the next morning, he offered me all the funds. He offered me all the money that I would take to do that job. He gave me enough money, like money. That was the time I start to see money. When we talk about money, you understand, real money. I took the money. I Well, I used about a week to work on the truck, and he took the truck for a trial before taking it to the site where he was, constructing this road at Cherkone in this same northern region, along Yendi area, close to the Togo border with the north. So after doing all this for the man, all this work for the man, he took the truck there. It worked 100%. I have my money. He has his truck with his alteration axles and move forward with it. And when I finished everything and he took his truck away, I used some of that money to marry my first wife, used some of that money to go to a village market to purchase some goats and some sheep, and then came and established my animal farms. And that was 2009. That was the year 2009. So at the end of the year, my sheep multiplied because I keep continue to have different part-time jobs and so many calls from people to come and work for them and everything. So I was just piling up my money, saving up my money, pushing it into my animals farms. At the time I was married, using that to take care of my wife, my mom, my siblings, myself. And at the same time using those kind of savings to gather tools at my side. It was this thing that I went through in life in 2009 and established my animal farm in 2015. I took some time in the animals farm. 2015, I established my own metal workshop, which was called Prince Ayoko and Sons Metal Workshop. So I established all these things. So right after I established my own workshop, then I started to boost up my animal farms. So it was there that I mobilized money to save so much and invest that on lands. I invested so much of my money on lands, including what I have inherited from my lineage. That is my father's property, which I'm not touching because that is what my father has left for me. So my grandchildren, my children has to also benefit from what my father left for me. So all these lands that I'm selling to these our brothers and sisters here in the diaspora and whatever is just something that I'm selling because I have invested into it and use that as a business. You understand? So life goes on, life goes on, life goes on. I started to build my first house. When I built my first house about 2-3 years ago, I think, yeah, about 2-3 years ago, I built my first house, which we're living in right now. And one day, sometime last year, I was just out. I went to an area in Tamale called Target to visit my brother. And on my way back, some people called me. It was in December like this last year. Some people called me that they want some big sheep. They went to the market, they couldn't get them. And my business partners in the market told them to come to me to to get the animals. So in business, those people are my partners. So when they bring someone like that and I sell out the animals to them, I have to give them a share of the profit. I'm not greedy. So when we seal the deal, just look at what things goes on. On that same faithful morning, when they call me that they are here in my compound and wants the animals, go to Facebook and check FA Livestock Farms Ghana Limited. You see what I'm talking about. So when I went there, yeah, we call it commission. I gave them a commission. Nubian S, greetings to you. Ojwini Ogeri Lakwal, greetings to you. It's commission in Africa, that's how we call it. So when I did when I had the call that they want the animals, and then I rushed home, because that was business. When I rushed home and sold the animals to them, not knowing that the person who owns the land at Queens was also waiting for me to sell Queens, land for me. So when I sold out the animals to the people, I didn't even take the money to my room. I just bargained with him. We talk about the land. I took him to the chief palace, or whatever, because the chief of this community is my uncle. That's my father's younger brother. So I took him to my father, that is my uncle, and said, well, this man is selling land to me at the community, but I want you to see and to witness, and I pay him the money. He said, yes, no problem. I used the same animals that I bought together with the profit, because that wasn't, they just bought only like 4 animals, just 4 sheep, big sheep. I used that money and paid him. My uncle changed the documents. He took his money. I went to the lands commission, sorry, the Department of Town and Country Planning. We got the site plan, and then just continue with my project on that same month. You understand? With regards to whatever I've already saved. So when I started the project, I'm taking you through how I get to start Queen's Guest House. When I started the project last year in December, it was around December last year, there was 14 trees on the land, which I have to, you know, you know, take off before I'll be able to have access to developing the land, which is normal here. I paid for all these 14 trees to be removed on the land, and that is why I said I'm gonna build some more trees on the land, because I know that I have took some trees on the land and built the project, so I have to replace it when it's finished. So they uprooted all this land. I started to buy river sand, cement, and at the time I was buying water. I bought water because I wasn't having a tricycle at the time. So I have to hire someone with his tricycle and pay. And they went through all this process, and we started the project. And at some point the bridge got short, and I took some time to mobilize some money again with my business, and continued again. And from that day up to date, everything that I've been doing goes with what I have in hand. When I do this business today, the next morning I'll just make sure that part of the profit will be pushed into the project and part of it will be saved. I'm telling you all of this because there is so much strategies to build your foundation. There is so much strategies that you can use to build your foundation, if only you are like very focused. You understand? Sorry, I'm just going through the comments. I shall vibe greetings to you, and blessed love and peace to you and your family. So when I started the project, sometimes it will take me some time to mobilize my finances and then come back again. So when I finished building the project, that was in the rainy season, I have to wait for like 2 3 months, 4 months, 5 months to roof the house. And whilst waiting for it, I was busily at the farms picking up my animals feed, feeding my animals to be healthy, to produce enough profit for me, enough income for me. And that was what I was based on and focused on. And at the same time, I was also looking at my investments with lands that I have, and I was very sure that once the rainy season stops, I'm gonna hit the ground running. So before the rainy season comes to an end, I already had some roofing sheets, some roofing nails, some wood for my house, and everything with my business. So as soon as we finish our Islamic Eid festival, that is the sacrificial festival, I already have my roofing nails, my roofing sheets, the money that I'll use to pay the carpenters. And I just called them and they came and roofed the house. So right after that, I took some time again to do business with my animals again and mobilize some money, save some money for the materials that was going to used to be plastered the house, as well as the frames of the doors. And for me being so focused and serious minded and just looking at what I'm doing, I was able to do my business with my animals, with my lands, and then just get this done. So as soon as they finished the plastering of the house, the ceiling joints of the house, then I asked myself, now the only thing that I have to do is to put on a ceiling for the project. It has been built, it has been floored, the ceiling joints has been done, and electrical wiring has been done. So now what's my next for movement with regards to the project? And I said, well, I have to have a self-sufficiency water storage system, a system whereby I can store water and use it for several months, 3, 4, 5 months without paying for water bill when it's rainy season. Even when it's not rainy season, when they open up the taps, like when the pipes is open, I can just use 2 days to fill, or 1.5 day to fill the tank, and just close my taps again. And at the end of the month, if I'm supposed to pay like $100, then I have to pay like $30 or $40 because I didn't use so much of the water. You understand? I didn't use it every day for the meter to continue to run and run and run and run and run, for me to continue to pile up my debts and everything. So this is how I planned before starting the underground water tank. When I started this underground water tank, people don't know what I was doing. And that's why sometimes I said we should be able to understand others' opinion. So one day, when Yahya Kasule by Stillbender, I shared his video today. When he was working on the underground water tank, he said, look, I've looked at how much you've spent on this, but why can't you just use that as another opportunity to add something to it? Because my plan was to just make the underground water tank, make the top of it to be a place where people will sit comfortable, like a kind of terrace, you understand? So he said, no, don't just do it like that. Build an apartment at the top, so that people will, even you yourself will be comfortable living there, whilst you having, your terrace and your water tank, you will still have a place to live on the top. And I said, wow, you are really a big brother, because Yaya Kasile is a little bit older than me, you understand? So I took his idea from there, and that is what you seen today in the video. In anything that I share in life, it has to be 100% sure, something that can help all of us, you understand? Everything that we do in life, it has to be about how we think, the resources that we have, the business that we do, and everything. You see, right now, I have 0 animals. That's how I do my business every year. I will keep selling from the beginning of the year. I'll keep selling and selling and selling and selling and selling and selling all the animals. And at the end of the day, like by this time, it's either I still have animals, that is when business did not go well, I'll still have animals, that is business for you. But this year business was very well, because I was able to sell out all my animals except the goose. It was only yesterday or 2 days before yesterday that I sold some goats, because Christmas is coming. Ghanaians like goat meat when it's time for Christmas. So I still have some goats in the compound. I still have some goats, not sheep, goats. I deal with goats and sheep, and some time ago I was dealing with fowls, and I was using them, for meat, that is chicken, and not for sale. So I'm talking about, pure organic fowls, chicken meat. Right now, within March and April, you see, January, February is free time for business. March, April, business will start again. So at that time, either I finish Queen's Guest House project or not, I will have to get back to serious business. Whilst I have these apprentices working at the workshops, I will still have some time to make for myself, for the business that I stay at home and do and earn my money. You understand? So Queen's Guest House was built based on so many numerous plans, so many plans with regards to saving money, with regards to doing business to start it, with regards to whatever I have to do. Everything that I did at the project consists of plans. It consists of so many plans. And it is only this kind of plans that can make us to live life freely and independently and just happy. Because sometimes there are people who spend more than what I have spent on that business and on that project, paying for rents each and every day, paying for rents each and every day. But the problem is that the societies we live is different. Because in Ghana, for instance, when you buy a land, the land belongs to you forever. It is said that 99-year lease, but I never see it. So I don't believe it. Though it's in the law, but for the fact that our motto is freedom and justice, I don't see it and I don't hear it. I only hear it, but I only hear it, but I don't see it. You see how it goes. So in everything that we do in life, it has to go with plan. It has to go with plan. So when the steel bender Yahya Kasuli told me this, I told him that, well, no problem. You see, as long as we are going to make it like a story building, a one-course story building, I would have to add some more reinforcement plans to the project. I would have to add so many reinforcement plans to the project. So he has already started the starter pillars. I have already, he has already started with the starter pillars that we casted on the ground before we projected it that you've seen today. So I told him, let's steal the project a little bit. And he said, how can we do it? And I said, let's create an additional an additional two pillars. Let me see. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So originally it was 3 beams on the tip of the underground water tank that is on the top of it. So I said, let's add some more, 2, to make it 5 for more reinforcement. You understand? And let's use strong metals to do it, because everything that concrete has to be done with regards to pillars and beams, that has to be that has to consist of heavy metals, like strong metals, that some people call it rebar, R-E-B-A-R, rebar. So he understood me and we created that. So we're gonna take that from the down part of the building, that is the underground water tank, that is the foundation. The next decking, that is where the room will be built, and the under part will be a place where people will sit, and the last part is where we'll place the poly tanks, so that we'll pull the water from the underground water tank to the top. So once the poly tanks sits higher, when it sits higher on the building of the underground water tank, I wouldn't have to pay to use machine to pull water to give the showers pressure. As long as it sits higher, it will have some natural pressure. But then I have to make sure that the ions that this tanks is sitting on with this heavy water is strong enough. The concrete is strong enough. The cement is strong enough to hold it. You see what I'm saying? So this is how we do construction. And how someone asked me that did I contact an engineer to see how safe this will be, to see. Look, I have been a welder and I know what reinforcement is. When I know that I'm putting this phone into something, like when I'm putting this phone on top of something, that thing has to be stronger than this phone so that it can hold this phone. You see what I mean? When I am applying force into something, I have to make sure that, you know, what I'm applying the thing into is much stronger than what I'm applying into it. You see, in technical terms, we call this reinforcement. Reinforcement. You are making it more stronger. The thing that is going to carry the weight has to be stronger than the weight itself. When you fail to do this, then you fail everything. So Queen's Guest House has been originated with an indigenous plan, with a plan that was being taught by me for so many years. At the same time, for me being an ancestor, that is why I'm called Dokurugu. Dokurugu in Dagbale means old man. For the fact that I have some natural gifted talents as an ancestor, there's so much in life that when it's coming, I'll already see it and find a solution to it before I move ahead to do it. All these designs that I have in my apartment, like just look at my apartment, you see, all these metal designs that I have, no one has ever seen this. You see all these metal designs that I have in my apartment. Can you see that? Can you see that? All these metal designs that I have here. All these metal designs that I have here. Huh? You see that? See that? All these metal designs that I have personally created it. No one has drawn the plan for me. No one. All these metal works that you see at Queens and everything, no single person has drawn the plans for me. You see how it works? I was trained to be a heavy duty welder. This kind of welding projects, we call it like minor welding projects, like very minor ones. So when you are into welding projects or welding job, it consists of so many things. But I thank God that I'm so kind of a person who is like jack of all trades. When it comes to let's use physical to work, like our physical energy to work, I'm into that. When it comes to let's use our mind to work, I'm into that. Let's use our knowledge to work, I'm into that. Let's use our wisdom to work on things, I'm into that. I deal with everything that comes on my table. You see, I just deal with everything that comes on my table just because I know what I'm doing and I know what I'm planning for. So my brothers and sisters, this is what it is. This is what it is, and this is where I'm gonna end tonight's video. I've gone even far beyond where I expected to go, because when I'm going to follow sharing with you, they will break us here. I wish all of you a very wonderful night, and once again, I say a very big thank you and a very big appreciation to my ancestor that I reincarnated. The ancestor that I reincarnated was called Nantona Yondo, the king of Nanton. His appellation was Nantona Yondo, then Tuhukande, then Betuhukanzasi. That was how the drummers, called, praise him. That was the appellation he chose for himself. Then Tuhukande in Dagbale means what is right, I'll take it. Dambutuhe Kanzasi, what is not right, I will not take it. That was his appellation, the appellation of the ancestor that I reincarnated. That was his appellation. And his title was Nantona Yondo. Nanton is a district in northern Ghana. Just search Nanton, Nanton. Nantong district of northern Ghana. You see what I'm talking about. Nantong is a community in Tamale. The king of Nantong has got over 30 to 40 communities in his jurisdiction, almost close to 50 communities in his jurisdiction. So it's one of the highest titles that a king in Dagbon can have. It's one of the highest, but the overlord king is the overlord. He takes care of the entire kingdom and he makes all of this, you understand. So it is the overlord king that takes control of all the kingdom of Dagbon, but there's divisional chiefdoms and kingdoms, you understand. There's divisional chiefdoms. So the chief of Nantong is one of the most highest king next to the overlord king of Dagbon with regards to owning and taking care of so many villages. And it was this Nantona Yondo who gave birth to my father, Lamashana Mumuni. Sorry, my grandfather, Lamashana Mumuni. So Nantona Yondo happens to be my great grandfather. Lamashana Mumuni was a son to Nantona Yondo. And my father was the first son or the first prince to Lamashana Mumuni. You see how my lineage goes from my paternal lineage. So there is a lot of inheritance that we have inherited, especially what I have inherited from my ancestors. This what I'm sharing with you right now is very kind of important for you to know, that you can give birth to a child and later the child will be very young and doing things that is more like an elderly person, which you will not understand. You have to know that the person is an ancestor, especially when they are doing things that even some old people will not do. I thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for your motivation and everything that you're going through. But I'm telling you that Queen's Guest House project, no one knows how it will end. All I pray is for long life, prosperity, and good health, and for business to go on very well, for you to see how it will end. At the end of it, look, you will not believe that this has been created by just someone who did not have so much education, but just wisdom and knowledge. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful night, and I send my greetings and blessings to all of you, your families, our families at your side, our friends at your side, and I pray that you'll be peace, you have freedom, and I pray that we all live to have freedom, financial freedom, personal freedom, life freedom, and just enjoy life. You understand? I wish all of you a very good night, a very wonderful night. May the ancestors and the Almighty God, blessings and guidance and protection be with us till we meet again next time. I say peace.